Hello and welcome. Today we are going to discuss about electoral politics, chapter 4 from your class 9 NCERT textbook, Political Science. So let's begin. In the first two previous chapters, we have seen that in democracy, it is neither possible nor necessary for people to govern directly. The most common forms of democracy in our times is for the people to govern through their representative. So in these chapters, we will look at how these representatives are elected. We begin by understanding why elections are necessary and useful in democracy. We will also try to understand how electoral competitions among parties serve the people. We then go on to ask what makes an election democratic. The basic ideas is to distinguish democratic elections from non-democratic elections. The rest of the chapters we will try to assess elections in India in the light of these yardsticks. So we take a look at each stage of elections, from drawing of boundaries of different constituencies to the declaration of results. At each stage, we ask what should happen, what does happen in elections. Toward the end of the chapter, we will turn to an assessment of whether elections in India are free and fair. And we also examined the role of Election Commission in ensuring free and fair elections. So, why do we need elections? So, before we discuss one examples of how election is being necessary, why election is necessary, and why election is important. So, let us try to understand why do we need elections. In a simple word, finding out if the people like their representatives or not requires a mechanism by which people can choose their representative and change them at different intervals. That is why elections are essential. So one example we can study from your textbook is assembly election in Haryana state. In 1989, Haryana State Assembly elections were conducted. The state has been ruled by a Congress party-led government since 1982. Then Chaudhary De Villers, then an opposition leader, led a movement called Nyaya Youth Struggle for Justice. Then his party joined other opposition parties to form a front against the Congress in the election. In the election campaign, during his election campaign, he mentioned that he stated that his party if the party won the election, his government would waive a loan of farmers and small businessmen. He promised that this would be the first action of his government. The peoples of Haryana were unhappy with the existing or ruling government. They were also attracted by De Villers' promises. So when elections were held, they voted overwhelmingly in favor of Lokdar and its allies, and Lokdar and its partner won 76 out of 90. And Lokdar alone won 60. Congress got only 5 seats alone. So Lokdar alone won the election, state assembly election. Once the elections results was announced, the sitting chief minister resigned and the newly elected members of the legislative assemblies, MLS of Lokdar, chose De Villers as their leaders, and the governor invited De Villers to be the new chief minister. 3 days after the election's results were as soon as declared, he became the chief minister, and his government issued a government order waiving the outstanding loan of farmers, small farmers and agricultures, laborers and small businessmen, according to the promises made by him during his election campaign. His party ruled the state for 4 years. The next elections will have in 1991, but this time his party, that is his party, Devilar party, that is Lokdar party, did not win popular support, and they lost the election, and the Congress once again won. The Congress come back and won the election and formed the government. So that is the concluding of our discussion for today. In our upcoming discussions, we will discuss why election is important, what make an election democratic. So for today, let us end our discussion. Have a